Good morning. How is everyone? I was drawing on my iPad and then all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, there's like 2 minutes until I need to be on the live. So I just like ran around to like make sure I have everything. Whew. A little bit stressful, wasn't it? Okay, so today we're going to do a flower that I've done a couple times before in the Stitchalongs, and they always turn out really nice. So that's why I've decided to do it for this one. You can use the same color for both parts, or you can use one color for one part, one color for the other part. So let me just move this aside and zoom it up. Yay! First time I can stitch with you. That's so exciting. I'm gonna put it on this side so you can see. Okay. So this one right here, again, I think they're super simple. You're just gonna make a circle. And if you've done a stitch along with me before, you've definitely made these flowers before. And you're gonna make little loops around like this. And then you're gonna do another round of loops all the way around. You don't have to have them connect or anything like that. And it looks like that. Now, with this kind of flower, I feel like I'm shouting because there we go. With this type of flower, you can make them as busy, like as many petals, or you can do less petals. So if you wanted to do less ones, you could do the circle and then do the ring around. And then you could always do, instead of doing so many petals around the outside, you could only do like one in the crack, you know? And that will give it a different kind of look. So it's up to you whether you want it to be quite full like this one, or if you want it to be a little bit more sparse like that one. Okay? So let's get drawing. And I'm gonna put it here. So what you kind of want to look out for is making it so like all of the flowers kind of fit nicely around in this kind of section. And then all the little bits around here will be all of the greenery and the foliage and the little branches and twigs and like tiny little flowers and things like that that we'll do a bit later. So here we go. I don't want it to be like super big. That's probably a good size. I kind of want to make it a little bit bigger. Do you know what I mean? Because it's kind of floating over there by itself. I wish I could like double tap and then like move it just a little bit closer. I'm just trying to decide if I want to redraw it a little bit closer, if it's not going to be confusing. Because I don't have my hairdryer down here, so I can't just blast it off. Okay. I'm going to draw it again in blue. It's hard to see now, but it won't be so bad later. Okay, so I'm going to use two colors. I'm going to use one color for this part, the loop, and I'm going to use the other color to fill it in like this. So you're going to get something that looks like this, the loop like that, and then the middle filled in. Now, like I said, you can use two separate colors, or you can just do the same color. It's entirely up to you. If you just leave the loops, what you're going to get is something that you can see the fabric through in the back. Let's see here. I could totally do, what did I use yesterday? Pink. Let's use a pink. Like a big pink flower on this side, maybe. Okay, I'm gonna use purple to outline and pink to fill it in. So let's get our thing going. And we'll do all 6 strands. Just make it easier. And I like to start with the outside edge first, which I know will be a little bit hard to see because I've drawn it twice. I might see if there's a black one. Oh, my fat black ones are in the other room. Because I know this is all going to be covered up anyways. I don't mind, but I feel like you guys cannot see at all. So we're going to go with the outside first. Like that. And then we're going to go back later. Well, right after. And do the inside. Hi, George. My poor fabric is like, no, stop drawing. Just stitch already, jeez. Okay, so zoom in. And what we're gonna do is the detached chain stitch or the lazy daisy, because if you put them around in a circle, they look like little daisies. So you're gonna go up on one side of your U or your N, okay? Down on the other side like this. And you're gonna leave a loop like that. Okay? You're gonna come up inside the loop right at the tip of that, wherever you want your petal to be, and pull it through. Now you don't wanna pull it too tight or you're gonna end up like this. You kind of want it to be round like this. So we're gonna leave it a little bit loose. Don't pull like as hard as you possibly can. And then you're gonna put a little stitch on the other side of that loop. So just a tiny little tacking stitch. I'm just gonna zoom in a little bit more. Okay, so just right on the other side of there. Just a tiny little one. So we've done one. And we're gonna do the next one, exactly the same. So come on up. Down on this side. Remember, you're just making sure that you leave a loop there. Let me just find this. Ooh. There we go. Okay, you just want to leave that loop like that. Now, sometimes I get lazy, like you just saw, and I don't pull it through all the way to make the loop small. I just kind of continue going. So like this. So I still have all of this thread over here. See? But you can just pull it through and it does it at the same time. Yeah? So we're gonna do this all the way around. Now these are great for flowers, the stitch. They're great for little like leaves on a vine, and I'll show you how to do that later. Because do you see how we're keeping these open so they make like a U or an N every time? Normally with this one, you would keep the 2 stitches really close. So they won't actually make a U like this or an N like this, like we are. They go like this. And this here is your little tacking stitch. So obviously when you put them all together in a circle, they make little flowers. Yeah? Or if you put them on a vine, they'll make a leaf. Yeah. just a nice little stitch to do. So how are we all on Saturday? Is anyone doing anything exciting today? I know in England we are in lockdown, so you can't really do much. David's just gone to take the dog for a walk. Jessie Bessie, so she's out. What else? We're going to walk to a bakery and get some cake. Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. We actually have to do our food shop today because it's the Super Bowl tomorrow and David wants to watch it. But here in England, it starts at 11:30 at night, I think. So I think he might watch it with some friends like in the evening. But we always make some like Super Bowl food, some like meatballs, and normally we do like 7-layer dip, which is like a salsa, sour cream, lettuce, refried beans, all that kind of stuff, you know? And then you eat it with like taco chips, you know, tortilla chips. What else do we have? We have all kinds of stuff, but we're just gonna make some of the some good things for us too. Because you're not allowed to be mixing households, so we can't have Super Bowl party like we normally do. So normally we have a bunch of people come over and all the boys watch the game and the girls just like chat and have a couple drinks, and it's normally really fun. And we stay up really late and watch the Super Bowl. Now I'm back where I started from. Watch out here because you need to go down on this side, but don't go down through your knot. So just keep that in mind. A couple people are doing some stuff today. So let me just scroll back up for a minute. Someone's having a date later. That's exciting. Our girls are having a sleepover on our floor. That sounds so fun. I remember doing that when we were little. We used to really love it. I don't know what it is about not sleeping in your bed, like your own bed, you know? That's just so fun. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is do some straight stitches in the middle to fill this space up. Now I'm trying to decide if I actually want to have that color, if I want to change it. Because, you know, I just can't be easy. I have to make it a little bit difficult on myself. I can't just do like the first color that I think of. I'll just stick with the pink, I guess. And I've got a little scrap here that I could use, actually. So another top tip is sometimes when you're stitching, you don't use all of your thread. And I always keep mine, good morning, Hannah, in a small, well, it's zoomed in so far, you can't see, in a small little ball. I don't know how big it is. Normally they say the size, but it's like the half size of like the mason jar things. So I keep them all in there. And then if I ever need any other colors or just a little bit to like do some details or something, you can keep them all there. So I like doing that. This is probably a little too short to actually use. So let's just do a new one. And again, we're using all 6 strands for all of these because I want to have a nice bold color. I should have done this purple and this blue together because that looks nice. They look nice together. Oh well, it'll be fine. So I've got the pink. And all I'm going to do here is do some straight stitches to fill in each of these loops. And this is just going to make it so that you can't see the fabric behind it. So if you like to see the fabric behind it, then of course you could just leave it. You can also do the same color if you want to make like the outside ring all purple and then the inside ring all pink or whatever color that you use, or you can do one of each. So normally I do about 2 straight stitches in each one. And it's just to kind of fill it up a bit. Now you might have to do 3 in some, like this one right here looks like it's wider than all of the other ones. So you might have to do 3 in some. In some of them, if you made them really small, then you might have to do just 1. Just depends on how you drew it. Now, if you decided to make more than 1 of these flowers and you made them really small, then I would definitely suggest using less strands. Because if they're too small, you're not going to be able to get all the details in with all 6 strands. Now the next time we go around here, we're actually going to overlap the purple thread a little bit so that it fills in this space here. So don't worry about like keeping your straight stitches like in a specific area or going like too, you know, too far down or not far down enough or whatever. We're just filling it in for a bit of color. Hannah says, is everyone happy with their flowers so far? Is everyone happy with their flowers so far? I think I am. The only thing is that this one's looking very plain, so I cannot wait to put some details in there. So that'll be fun next week. I am, but I'm the queen of the unpick. Do you know what? I always say, if you know you don't like it, then just unpick it. Because if you keep it there, every time you look at it, you're going to be like, I don't like that. I don't like that. You know? And it's happened to me so many times. That's why it's really difficult to make hoops for other people sometimes, because, you know, they might think, oh, wow, it's amazing. Like, you did such a great job. And then in your head, you're like, but there's that one area that I just wish I would have done better. Like I wish I would have done it a different way. So sometimes it's hard to make stuff for other people because you're like, you are the most critical of your own work, you know? Let's see here. Veronica says, loving mine. Had so much love from everyone. So thank you. Graybird Craft says, can always do better. Loops, Hoops, and Stitchery. I feel like your name is Amanda, but I don't remember. She says, yes, thanks for asking. Lauren, I'm pretty happy, although I'm finding it harder to find spots to put my flowers. I feel like I could have done a better layout. That is totally fine. Hannah says, I unpick colors all the time. Definitely. Definitely. She says, I like my colors, but maybe not the placing, waiting for the greenery to fill it in more. It will look weird now because we don't have any greenery and we haven't filled it in at all. So there's like weird kind of gaps in between. So if you're finding it difficult to like it because you're kind of like have a bunch of flowers that are floating, yes, it's Amanda. Yes. I always feel so happy when I remember people's names. Oh, I'm so ridiculous. But yeah, if you find it a little bit weird and you're like, I really don't like it now, try and figure out what is the reason. Is the reason because they're just floating flowers and we haven't added any stems or greenery yet? Is it because it's not filled in, meaning that like they look like they're around the teapot but not necessarily coming from the teapot? Is it the stitching that you don't like? Like, do you know what I mean? Like trying to figure out what's the actual root of the reason that you're like, I don't like this. because if it's just that they're all a bit floating and they look a little bit not connected to each other, and not natural looking, meaning like they're just there, we're going to fix that in the next couple weeks. Because remember, this is only day 6. And I'm trying to make it not as short as I can, but I'm trying not to make it so that we're doing a lot in one day, you know? So some days we might just do a couple little stems and learn a new stitch and that's it. And other days, like the woven wheel roses or these ones, you might do quite a bit of stitching and you're like, oh my gosh, tell her to stop. We've done enough. Lauren says, exactly. I'm trying to trust the process and that the end product will be better. I know that we'll be able to fill in things and improvise and make stuff look better. The other thing is that if you've used like a 7-inch hoop or an 8-inch hoop, and you find that the reason you don't like it is because you made your flowers too big and there's no space around, meaning that like your flowers are right on the edge, you know, you can always just get a bigger hoop. They make 9-inch hoops, 10-inch hoops, 12-inch hoops. There's no shame in just going to buy a bigger hoop, you know, if you've got extra fabric around the outside. I'm not trying to lose belly fat, hun. We don't care. Okay. I think I'm happy with those. Yeah, I'm happy with those. Let's go back to the purple and do our next layer. So we'll go back to the Lazy Daisy, the detached chain stitch. Now, the reason it's a detached chain stitch is because normally when you do a chain stitch, you don't stop every time. Cough, 10-inch cough. Oh no. Yeah, you can always go to 12 if you need it, if there's enough fabric. Okay, so we're going back here. Real quick, the regular chain stitch is like this. So you make one, and then instead of going back down and making a little tacking stitch here, you make another one, and you make another one, and you make another one, and they're all connected, so it makes a line. Whereas the detached chain stitch, that's just it. Do you know what I mean? There's also the reverse chain stitch, and we'll learn how to do that either next week or the week after. So I know some people get them a little bit confused, and they're like, oh, this is the chain stitch. Like, this is the detached chain stitch. It's just one by itself, or the Lazy Daisy. So here we go. So these ones are going to almost go right up into that other layer that we've done. And you are going to stitch over the things that you've already stitched before. Oh, bird. And if you have to make some extra ones, you can make some extra ones if you want to make, do you know what I mean? If you need to kind of fill in the space a little bit more. Again, not pulling too hard because we want to keep that nice round circle. I feel like the colors I chose are a little too close, but we'll see if we like it when I get the pink in the middle, you know? Because it's not over till it's over. So tomorrow is a just catch-up day, so you can either grab another hoop and practice what you've done, or you can catch up with things that you haven't done, or you can just take the day off and rest. So don't feel like, oh, it's the catch-up day, I have to do something. You don't have to do something. If you want to just have a nap and have a chill day, do it. Play with your kids, whatever it is. Now, when we do French Knot Day, and we do it's at the towards the end, I'll show you, there's a grid way that I do it. I've only seen myself do it this way, because I feel like it really shows you how to do French knots, but also all the different sizes and wraps and thicknesses and strands. So when we do that day, that's when we'll start to fill in some of these circles. So don't worry if you're like, oh, they all don't have the middle filled in. I'm getting a bit stressed out because they don't look finished. Don't worry. So between Details Day and French Knot Day, we'll fill them all in. And they'll look really nice. And the other good thing about French Knot Day is that you can decide how many wraps and strands that you like. So you can get small knots or big knots. Oh, I just love it. It's just so much fun. Okay, so now I'm going back to the pink again, 6 strands. Adele says, the more I'm seeing of this flower, the more I'm liking it. Yes. And like, if yours doesn't look quite like this, that's totally fine. I know I say it so much, but it is, because I mean, everyone's flowers are going to look different. And you can even tell just with like going through the hashtag or looking at the stories that I've been tagged in, that I've been sharing in my stories. You can totally see that people are drawing the same-ish things, you know? But they all look a little bit different, and that's amazing. So for this one, you're probably only going to get one. But again, if you need to put 2 in, put 2 in. And if you saw the drink and draw yesterday with me and Kirsty, you'll see that like I'm not the most amazing at drawing. So it's just, we all have our own different styles. We all draw in different ways. It was so fun to see like how different she drew things to like how I drew things, even though you could still tell that they were the same thing. But they were just different, and I loved it. It was so much fun. I think we talked more than... Well, I talked more than I drank. But it was so much fun. The next time is needle felting, and I can't wait to do that either. Okay, and then like always, have a little look and make sure that you're happy with how everything looks. Let's see what is going on here. Do you know what I mean? So if you need an extra stitch somewhere, then go and put it in now whilst you still have the colors that you have. If you wanted to, I guess you could go around even a 3rd time, but to be fair, I'd probably do that first so that you can cover it up with the different layers. Do you know what I mean? But if you needed to add one in, just as like I think I'm gonna add one more, then go ahead and do that if you want to. But yeah, that's the flower today. So we've got detached chain stitch, straight stitch, 6 strands. Let's zoom it out and then you can see what it looks like. And did you guys see the giveaway on my page? I'm excited for that. All right, so there we go. Ta-da! Jazz hands. Okay, well, I'm going to let you guys go. Enjoy your Saturday. I don't want to keep you like all day, you know, because it's Saturday. So enjoy. You're trying to sneak in a carnation. Could be, if you wanted to. Yeah, so enjoy your Saturday. I'll talk with you guys tomorrow. Again, there's only one video tomorrow. This will probably be the last big flower. Yeah, all of the other ones will be, well, I mean, I guess it's subjective because you could put 3 small ones in if you wanted to. But yeah, I said there's 5 different types of flowers we're going to do, and we've got our 5 here. So from now on, it'll be smaller little ones that we'll put in, greenery, leaves all the way around here. We might add some stems in here, or we can fill it with French knots later. You might want to pop a couple little flowers in here later too. So if you kind of get to like the end of the 3rd week and you're like, I want to put more stuff in, then of course you can. Just a reminder, tomorrow there's only one video. I'm just going to go live just the one time and just kind of catch up on both of the things, both of the hoops. So yeah, be sure to tag at the Barmy Fox and use the hashtag the Barmy Fox SAL. Give a little scroll, give some likes and comments. People love it so much. They really, really appreciate it. And yeah, I hope you have a great Saturday. All right, bye.